Virgo. Welcome to a March 2021 relationship breakup reading. So, I do love readings. I used to do them a lot more regularly, and I would just do like kind of open readings, but I've kind of experimented with twin flames and just different permutations. So, this one's going to be for those people who have broken up with a partner and are wondering if it's really over, if there's a chance of making it work. Obviously, this is a YouTube tarot reading, so just take it for any synchronicity that applies. And Also for those people who are currently still in a relationship with another person, but they feel like it's pretty much over. So I did cancers first, and I used an online spread, and I think I'm just going to do my own because it's more natural for me, and I can do positions that work with me. I actually did take a few from that other site. I wish I would have. I wanted to give them credit, but I can't find it. So here we go. Interesting so far. Let me tell you something. Let me see. Of course, I always have these issues with the with my tripod. Please bear with me. I'll hold up the cards. I just want to make sure when I pick these cards, I know exactly what the positions are because I don't want to just pick cards and then assign meanings to them later. And I had just right before I hold on one second. I just want to remember like what I said. Um, okay, I'm gonna put like that. Okay. Let me see. This could very easily lead this to get disconnected, which I don't want to do. So, yeah, I guess it's not gonna be able to see it. Oh well. Okay, so let's get the first card. The relationship as it stands, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So, this to me, I always think of Virgo when I think of this card. Um, First of all, because Pentacles relates to Earth. So the other Earth signs are Taurus and Capricorn, but obviously you're an Earth sign, and also the number nine uh, has the same connection to Virgo in the major arcana because of the Hermit card. And there's a spiritual connection to the number nine. In astrology, the ninth house is Sagittarius. I don't know why Virgo is associated with it, but the Hermit is that kind of spiritual figure. So I get the Hermit, but I don't get why it's associated with Virgo. But I just wanted to tell you that I always think of Virgo when I think of this card. I don't know if it's connected, but it is connected to the Earth. And this is a card that is connected to um, financial independence. Now, I did pick a card of like what is the biggest maybe the problem in the relationship, which is the card right above it. And I guess I can just bring that out now. The Two of Wands. Whenever you see a two, you know that the person is making a decision about something, is undecided, torn between two possibilities. And in this case, this can even be about relocation, two careers, two ways of living. So what I got from this immediately, I was thinking in my mind this idea of, I'll just use gender, a woman who wants to be financially independent within a relationship, and the other party is more traditional. And so I did pick, and they want them in the home, they want them taking care of the family. Um, and it can be anything in that vicinity, any kind of like you wanting to be more financially independent and that threatening that other party. And so usually, yes, we're going to bring in gender, but it's kind of tricky because it doesn't always work that way. And if you're a younger woman and you're in a relationship with a man, you might be the one that is more has more of an earning power sometimes, and they might be the one who is financially dependent on you. Maybe if you have children together, taking care of your children, if you're under the age of 35 or something like that. It's much different depending on generations. But with older folks, the traditional gender roles can still apply. And I don't care what people say. I'm just talking, this isn't about like deciding whether that's okay. It's just saying what is. But I was discussing this that there are younger women who are choosing to stay home, and but they also have their own businesses. So even if you stay at home, it doesn't mean that you can't earn money. So just something with financial independence. And the card that I picked, that you how you feel about that other party, is the Chariot card. And the Chariot card is a card of somebody who is succeeding. It also can be the card of somebody, maybe a traveler, somebody who travels a lot. The Chariot can be a vehicle. And maybe that is a bone of contention. And that's why I'm getting the Two of Wands, is because that person um, has itchy feet. And it's not athlete's foot. It's actually they just like to travel. So if they, for instance, if they're a Sagittarian, if they're a Gemini, especially, they may just be people that love to do things that are that they're always like going to new places and doing new things, and you feel like they won't settle down. That could be a part of it. But if that person is successful, they may make the case that you don't have to do whatever, or they might say get a part-time job because they want you there for them when they need you, but you feel maybe neglected a lot of the time because they're out doing their thing in the world. And they want you like kind of just there when they need you, but they're not there that enough for you to feel needed by them. Um, that it's a two-way street. So you might be alone a lot. And how they see you, this is what I got. And I was like, well, that makes perfect sense. The Queen of Pentacles, we have another Pentacles card. So that this is the Susie Homemaker type of card. The person who, I'll say the woman who is at home. So this is a double feminine energy, taking care of the hearth and home. But that is her place, is in the home. If she has these other desires, if she wants to earn money, and by the way, I want to make it clear that I'm not suggesting you don't have a job. You might feel that your job isn't enough to be independent, and that is what the problem is. But I see this particular reading as more relevant for people who are still together and are trying to navigate this than a breakup. Although I'm sure that there are people that it was serious enough for them to break up, and maybe an affair took place because they were not together enough. The other person was traveling, and maybe that person wants you to travel with them, and you don't want to. Especially if you do have children, you don't want to uproot them. So that can be something that creates a bit of a clash. So the card of influences around you, we have the Strength card, and this is a card that is associated with Leo, hence the lion. And I would say a fire energy, a very strong willed fire energy. Doesn't have to be like somebody that they're having an affair with, but somebody that is building one of you, or maybe even both, I suppose it's possible, with confidence to stand for your rights and not feel like you're doing anything wrong. So if you are dealing with somebody, maybe it's a friend who has always been a cheerleader, a great cheerleader of yours, and has finally convinced you that you have the right to pursue these things, and perhaps it's something like that. The advice is represented by the Queen of Cups. This is a card of the spiritual. This is a card of the intuitive, feeling into the situation. Because you're an earth sign, you may be looking at it, strictly on pragmatic terms. What is best for me? Does this situation really suit me? Because there are pentacles in this reading, especially in the position of um, the central theme, it could be that this is something that you're very focused on. Maybe that's what the Nine of Pentacles means to you, is that you're really focusing on becoming financially independent so that the power balance is not so lopsided. And when I say financially independent, I mean that you can support yourself, not just that you're making any money, but that you can support yourself, because that's what I should have said, not that you're totally unemployed. But maybe you have either a part time job or you've never really made enough money to sustain yourself. And the other person, either they took advantage of it or they just, it might not be anything malicious. They might have just wanted you to be that traditional um, partner, and they had the ability to take care of things on their end, and that's what they did. So we don't have to make anybody the villain. This reading doesn't look like that type of reading where one person is just so evil. But the Queen of Cups is coming from a very feeling type of place, not, dollars and cents. Not what is pragmatic. What is in alignment with your soul? What is in the best interest of your children if you have children? Will it make a difference if you leave a partner who is really giving you a hard time for wanting your independence? Um, might that be the best thing for the children? In some cases, it probably would, because, and maybe in most cases, because if you feel very unhappy, um, feeling forced to be in a certain role or position, that's got to rub off on the people around you. So it's not selfish to pursue these things, per se. It depends on other factors. The outcome, I like to see this, is the Six of Wands. This is a card of accolades, taking your bow, receiving, a lot of strokes about how talented you are. It's a card of success. So this is a card associated with Leo. So we have two Leo energies. What does Leo represent? Well, one of the big things that Leo represents is dignity, is confidence. Virgo is a sign that opposes or has as its complementary sign Pisces. And sometimes there are similar themes that are woven in between these two signs, which I think even Virgos can be rather sacrificial in their dealings with others, on a, whether it's in the workplace or in a very close relationship. And I have received criticism for some of the terms that I've used for Virgo. I said, don't be a doormat. I said, Virgo is a sign of the servant, and I got a lot of flack for that. I will keep repeating this as long as it takes to kind of fend off a new attack. Because I have the moon in Virgo, and that can even more so sometimes show itself in these, in the shadow aspects of Virgo, the moon sign, as far as I'm concerned. So don't think that I'm just putting you down and I'm just sitting on some kind of a high horse. No, But the thing is that Virgo is a servant in terms of what it represents in the sixth house of service. A servant serves and serves selflessly without ego. Anybody who serves another person and they have an attitude is not a true servant. And a servant is something to uplift or uphold, not to look down on. But anyway, so in that particular context, I was noting that, Virgo people like to help others. And unfortunately, you can be a vibrational match to somebody who needs your help, or who's somebody who is a taker, who just always, sucks at other people's life force in one way or the other. And sometimes it's not a material thing where they're taking from you materially. You might not be giving as much financially in the relationship, but the other person is taking something else from you and energetically. Maybe they are self-centered and they want your life to revolve around theirs. And that's where I'm kind of going with this. If you're in that type of relationship, or if you have just recently broken off of it, maybe this is an affirmation of that, because this is independent energy. And the Six of Wands is your day in the sun. So it's about being appreciated. And Virgos, I think, don't, you're not the kind of person to demand it, unless you have Mars and Leo or something like that, where you're more um, into the diva or the drama scene, that kind of thing, or a moon in Leo, moon in Aries, or something like that, where you're more demanding of the other person's adoration. In general, you're going to be very modest and unassuming and kind of dutiful. But that doesn't mean that you would not like to be acknowledged. It just means that you typically will not ask for that acknowledgement. And you get this. But I think you have to love yourself enough to make those changes if you need to, because it's waiting for you. That relationship where you are cherished is waiting for you. But if you stay in a relationship where you